Thank you very much, Callie. Yes, we are counting down the days. Everybody's really excited. Just to point out to you, the event is almost sold out, complete sellout. So we are also hearing from all the cable operators that this fight is tracking extremely well. So it's obviously a great indication not only of Canelo's star power and not only of the great stacked card that we have, but also because this is a great fight that a lot of people feel is a toss-em fight. Before I introduce the trainers and the fighters, let me introduce to you the Vice President of Communications at Showtime, Chris de Blasio, to say a few words.
Hey, thank you, Oscar, and thanks to the press for just taking a moment here. Some housekeeping from Showtime. Steven Espinoza, our Executive Vice President, Head of Programming, couldn't be on today, so just real briefly, our Emmy Award-winning documentary series, All Access, has returned to chronicle the preparations for Lara and Canelo for this fight. Our first episode you may have seen premiered last Friday night. Our second episode in advance of the pay-per-view event will be televised on Wednesday, July 9th, on Showtime. We encourage you to tune in. That is the linchpin of the shoulder programming that is airing on Showtime Extreme, available on our website, on demand, as well as Showtime Anytime, our mobile application. All Access, as I said, is the linchpin of that content. But in addition, we have past fights from Canelo, from Lara, from Abner Mares, from Mauricio Ferreira. We have several past fights available. These are some of the gems from each of these fighters' past careers, as well as a ton of other content available throughout the week leading up to the pay-per-view event, including our Countdown show, which airs live on Showtime on Saturday, July 12th. The Countdown show will air at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, live from the MGM Grand, and it will include a live championship fight that is yet to be announced. So we have a press release coming together, and we'll put that together for a WBO Bantamweight Championship fight that's on that card. We will televise that live on Showtime in our, quote, Countdown show leading up to the 9 p.m./6 p.m. live pay-per-view event from the MGM Grand. So we're excited about the content and mostly excited about the live fights that'll take place at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, as I'm sure the rest of you are. Looking forward to it. So without further ado, back to you, Oscar, and thank you for the time.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chris. And let me take this opportunity to say a few words. He is a trainer that we all know very well. He's a great trainer, and he is in Lara's camp, getting him ready for the big showdown. That is Ronnie Shields. Ronnie.
Thank you, Oscar. How you doing? I just want to say that everything is going great here in camp. Erislandy Lara is in great condition. Like always, you know, he's been doing everything that we've asked of him. Our whole team is really, really focused on making sure that you get the best possible fight out there. It's going to be a really, really great fight. We're looking forward to it. You know, Lara's condition is really great, and we really give all the credit to Edward Jackson, who's the strength and conditioning coach. He's been doing a great job. And everybody else in camp has really been doing really good. And Lara's in good spirits. He can't wait until July 12th to get in the ring with Canelo Alvarez.
Thank you very much, Ronnie. And now let me introduce to you the fighter who hails out of Guantanamo, Cuba. He suffered a controversial decision loss to Paul Williams in 2011. He's won the WBA Junior Middleweight World Championship, defeating Alfredo Angulo. He has a great win, 12-round unanimous decision over Austin Trout. He is obviously here and ready and willing, with a record of 19-1-2 with 12 knockouts. Let me introduce to you Erislandy Lara. Erislandy Lara, unas palabras, por favor.
Buenos días o buenas tardes. ¿Aló?
¿Cómo te va en tu entrenamiento? Todo nomás para que la gente sepa.
Quiero darle las gracias a toda la gente que están presentes ahí, a toda la gente de la presa. Todo marcha bien y creo que ya no hay más nada que hablar. Nos vemos en 10 días, el 12 de julio. Estamos listos.
Somebody translating?
Yeah, it says hi to everybody on the call. Thank you guys for being present. Says there's not much more to talk about. He's ready to fight. He's in great shape, and you'll see Canelo on July 12th.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. And now we can open it up to the media for questions.
Operator, go ahead, Berthelda. If you would like to ask a question or have a comment, please press *1 on your telephone keypad. This will place your question in the order it was received. Once again, if you would like to ask a question, please press *1 on your telephone keypad now. And our first question comes from Dan Rafael with ESPN.
Hello, everybody. Thank you. Hey, Louis, could you ask Lara, when he came to America to pursue his professional dream to fight, was this everything that he thought it would be to get into these kinds of fights? And is he happy with the? I know it took a little while to get here, but he's here now. How does he feel looking back the way things have gone over the past few years, getting to this point?
Sí, cuando saliste de Cuba. So 100%, you know, that's what he wanted to do. That's the reason he came to this country, was to fight in these type of fights and fight at this level.
And is this when he came here? I mean, Canelo wasn't wasn't a big name or anything at the time that Lara got to the United States. But was he thinking not only world titles and those types of fights, but significant opponents in pay-per-view level fights? Did he even know what pay-per-view was? They don't have that in Cuba.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what he wanted to do. He wanted to come to this country and fight the best. That's what he wanted to do since his 7th pro fight. He was asking to fight for a world title, and championships come and go, but these are the type of fights that will leave history. So that's what he plans on doing on July 12th.
All right, and Louis, can you ask him also? They have a couple of common opponents. Both have fought Austin Trout. Both have fought Angulo. Each one of them had, one was easy for one guy, one was tough for the other guy. I'm curious, does he put any stock into the fact with the way that those fights against common opponents went, or is this just a totally separate situation?
No, it has nothing to do with each other. Basically, all styles are different, and he's focused on Canelo, and he doesn't think it makes a difference on who they fought in the past. What makes a difference is how their styles mesh, and he plans on dominating Canelo Alvarez on July 12th.
All right, terrific. Thank you, Louis. I have a question also. Ronnie, are you there?
Yes.
Hey, Ronnie, good to talk to you. Thank you. You've been training Lara for a while now, and I just wonder from the point of view of the trainer, he's had some really outstanding performances. He's had a couple that were maybe a little inconsistent. I mean, how do you go about trying to make sure that we see the dominant, top-notch Lara come next Saturday, as opposed to the guy that, kind of gets through the fight, maybe doesn't look great, but kind of does what he has to do, but maybe there's a question when the fight's over in some people's minds about the result, to have him really, really prime for that night?
Well, the most important thing is that Lara trains hard all the time. And he's one of these guys that, look, I think it's who's in front of you that makes the big difference on any fight. Some guys are hard to get up front, some guys are not. But obviously, I think Canelo Alvarez is one of the guys that you have to be at your best. And I think that's what you're going to see on July 12th. I'm not, I can't sit back and worry about, anything else other than, doing the right things that we've been working on for the last 8 weeks in camp. And, she's showing it up real good in in training. Everything's great. The sparring has been really great. So, we're just looking forward to it. And, we're going to follow our game plan on July 12th.
Ronnie, do you think that Lara's, it seems to be a better level of technique and skill than Canelo does, maybe a little bit of better quickness? Do you think that is going to basically be the difference in the fight, that he can, take over because he's going to basically be making Canelo missing him while he's, countering him?
Oh, yes, without a doubt. But also, I think that Lara is a better fighter, period. You can't take anything away from Canelo. He's a really good fighter. You can't take anything away from that. But understand this, Erislandy Lara has a better amateur career, and he's having a better pro career. I mean, it's simple as that. Erislandy Lara was fought the best fighter and anybody and everybody who would fight him. So, Lara doesn't have a pick and choose career. But Canelo's career, his career has been pick and choose.
All right, very good. Ronnie, thank you so much. Louis, thanks for the translation. See you guys next week.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Our next question comes from Lem Satterfield with theringtv.com.
Hey, guys, how are you? Hey. Yeah, I'd like to kind of piggyback on what Dan saying. Ronnie, why is this a good style matchup for Erislandy?
Well, it's a good style matchup because if you look at Canelo, he's one of these guys that he's a good puncher with both hands, and he's a guy, he's an arrogant guy in a great way, because, he talks mess, but, he backs it up. And look, Lara is basically the same way, but when you look at the styles, if you look at Canelo, he's a guy, he likes to throw combinations, and that's perfect for Lara because, Lara's a perfect counterpuncher. So as far as style matchup goes, this is going to be a great fight. It's going to be a great fight because I know both guys are in great condition, and that's what the people want to see.
Louis, same question for Erislandy. Why is this a good style matchup for him? Why does he feel comfortable going into this fight? And obviously it's a high-stakes fight, too.
It's a good styles matchup because he knows Canelo's going to, try to press forward and press the action, and that's the styles he likes. He likes guys to come and fight, and he picks them apart, like he's done to several guys coming up. So, these are the fights he likes. He likes guys who come to fight, and he likes to put them in the dirt, and that's what he plans on doing.
The controversy notwithstanding, Ronnie, when he fought Williams, everybody at ringside thought he won that fight. Obviously he dominated Trout probably the same way. It occurs to me that both of them are southpaws and skillful fighters. Did that have anything to do with why he performed so well against both of those guys, as opposed to Angulo and Molina? Both were good fights, but there were some people who thought Molina beat him, and obviously Angulo dropped him twice.
Well, I think when you go back, I remember in the Molina fight that we took the fight on very short notice, and we really didn't have a whole lot of time to work for Molina. But Molina is a good fighter. We can't take anything away from him. But I still go back and look at that fight, and there's no in the world Lara lost that fight. Lara won that fight. He won 6 rounds of that fight. So, I know he won that fight. But with the Angulo fight, look, after Angulo was a tough fighter, man, and you can't take that away from him. He was one of the best junior middleweights in the world who can punch with both hands. And look, Lara is a fighter. He got caught. He went down. But you know what a good fighter does? He gets up and he comes back and he stops Angulo. So, it's just the way it is. It doesn't have to do with whether a guy is a southpaw or a right-hander. Lara, he fights anybody and everybody. Lara asks for this. He asks for every fight that he's been in, basically, because nobody wants to fight him. So he only wants to fight the best fighters, and this is why you see him fighting this fight on July 12th against Canelo Alvarez.
The two fights that I mentioned before, though, Trout and Williams, Why was he so dominant in those fights, and what did he do well in those fights that you think is part of his signature?
Well, you know, he counterpunched and he boxed the way he's supposed to box. And I think those guys, you know, with the come forward style really complements Lara's style. But at the same time, you know, Lara punches harder than people give him credit for. And on Saturday, July 12th, you're going to see that.
Yeah, I got one more question for Erislandy, Louis. He just, you know, we just saw, you know, one of his countrymen, Yuriorkis Gamboa, lose, and I wonder if he feels, you know, any, you know, patriotism to, you know, step up for the Cubans in the wake of his loss.
He says, you know, Gamboa's Gamboa. I mean, in a Cuban system, there's teams. Here, this is individual sport. I mean, you know, he's focused on what he's got to do. You know, has nothing to do with his game plan or changes what he's got to do. His main focus is beating Canelo Alvarez, and that's what he plans on doing July 12th. And obviously, he always wants to, you know, stand up and show why Cuban boxing is the best, and that's what he's going to do on July 12th. And it has nothing to do with Gamboa. Obviously, they have complete different styles and they're complete different fighters. I mean, other than being Cuban, that's the only thing they have alike. So most importantly, you know, he's ready to fight.
Hey guys, thanks a lot and good luck next week.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Sean Cross with Boxing Insider.
Hi guys, how you doing today? Got a question for Erislandy. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good. Listen, Mr. Lara, a lot of popular fighters would go the easy road and avoid you. Do you feel you owe Canelo some debt of gratitude for actually agreeing to meet you in the ring?
He says, absolutely not. He doesn't owe him nothing other than left hands. That's the only thing he owes him. You know, he forced this fight. It wasn't because he wanted to take this fight. We've been after this fight for 2 years, and you know, whether it was, you know, putting pressure on social medias or interviews and jumping on stage, that's what pressured him to take this fight. He knows he didn't want this fight, and on July 12th, you're going to see the reason why he didn't want this fight.
Okay, thanks. And a question for Oscar. Oscar, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, just a quick question. For the year, all in all, through whether it's Top Rank, Golden Boy, Showtime, HBO, pay-per-view results haven't been too impressive. Are you worried about the amount of buys this fight will receive? It's a very good matchup, probably the best all-around matchup this year so far. But are you worried that there might be some fatigue as far as buyers go?
No, not at all, because first of all, when you have Canelo involved in the pay-per-view fight, as the numbers show, his very first pay-per-view that he was headlining generated close to 400,000 homes. So having this fight with Erislandy Lara, having the stacked card, people know what they're going to watch, and people are gonna tune in to watch a spectacular event. So we're not worried one bit whatsoever.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Salvador Rodriguez with Deportes.
¿Qué tal? Un saludo a todos, Erislandy. Te mando un saludo, espero que todo vaya bien. Erislandy, ¿tú piensas lo mismo que tu entrenador, Ronnie Shields, acerca de Canelo, que es una persona arrogante y que es un peleador que ha estado inflado en su carrera?
Claro que sí, 100%.
¿Perdón?
Claro. Sí, claro, 100%. Canelo es una persona arrogante que cae muy mal por su forma de ser y también un boxeador inflado.
Vaya, ¿esto es personal ya en contra de Canelo?
No, yo no tengo nada en contra personal de Canelo, pero yo sé, Julio, vamos a ver qué es lo que hay.
¿Crees que Saúl Álvarez se equivocó cuando escogió como peleador a Erislandy Lara, dado que Oscar de la Hoya le había dicho que quizás no eras el rival ideal para regresar?
¿Qué voy a decir? Se equivocó, él no sabe en el problema que está metido. No sabe todavía, él no sabe quién yo soy todavía. Él puede ver todos los videos que él quiera ver, los videos no importa nada los videos.
Por último, ¿por qué crees que le puedes dar una lección a Canelo? ¿En qué departamentos eres superior a él para pensar en que le puedes dar una lección el próximo 12 de julio?
¿Una pregunta?
Sí, ¿en qué crees que eres superior a Canelo Álvarez para pensar que le puedes dar una lección?
En todo. Somos dos del Canelo. En todo.
Me imagino que él estará pensando en que la pelea con Angulo puede ser un parámetro para él. Sin embargo, traerás nuevas cosas al ring, subirás con nuevas cosas diferentes al cuadrilátero este 12 de julio.
Claro, todos los boxeadores son diferentes, cada cual tiene son diferentes boxeadores. Angulo es Angulo y Canelo es Canelo, cada cual tiene su forma de pelear.
Perfecto, muchas gracias.
Gracias.
And our next question comes from Jason Gonzalez with MaxBoxing.com.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
Great.
Great. I have two questions. My first one is for Ronnie. Ronnie, there's no question that Canelo Alvarez was having trouble with Austin Trout up until he dropped him in the seventh. Was it a style matchup was it a bad style matchup up until then, or was it the mere fact that Austin Trout is a big junior middleweight?
Austin Trout is just a good fighter, period. Simple as that. Austin Trout knows his way around that ring. This is why you see him be a very good Miguel Cotto. This is why you see him beat everybody he's fought up until he met Canelo. And that fight was very, very close to me, even with the knockdown. But, just to say Austin Trout is just a good boxer, no. Austin Trout is a great boxer.
Okay. Thank you, Ronnie. Now, my second question is for Erislandy. Erislandy, ¿cómo está, hermano?
¿Cómo está la cosa?
Todo bien, muchísimas gracias. Erislandy, tomando en consideración la situación política en Cuba, ¿cuántos peleadores buenísimos en la historia del boxeo en Cuba hemos perdido nosotros de ver aquí en los Estados Unidos?
¿Cómo? No entiendo
tomando en consideración la situación política en Cuba y la historia del boxeo que ustedes tienen allá en la isla, por lo que está pasando, ¿cómo es que nosotros aquí en los Estados Unidos hemos perdido la oportunidad de ver más peleadores como usted, como Yuriorkis Gamboa, como Joel Casamayor? Y
que muchos boxeadores cubanos no quieren salir de Cuba y entonces llegar aquí a este país hay que pasar por muchas metas, por eso que no hemos podido que muchos jugadores cubanos enseñen su calidad aquí en el boxeo profesional.
Eso también es parte suerte también de poder de salir, y eso es lo que pasa.
Claro, todo depende si puedan salir, ¿entiendes? Y la oportunidad de llegar a este país.
Sí.
Oye, que Cuba es un país muy triste.
Y Erislandy, muchísimas gracias y buena suerte el 12 de julio.
Gracias.
Louis, are you there, Louis?
Yep.
Can you just translate what just went down there, that conversation between him and thank you.
The question was basically if we've, due to the political situation in Cuba, he was asking Lara if, here in the United States, have we missed a lot of talent or haven't seen a lot of fighters that are very good in Cuba? And Lara said absolutely. Obviously, Cuba's a very strict country. It's a country that, you got to do a lot of things to get over here to be free, and there are a tremendous amount of fighters in Cuba that would be world champions or very good fighters over here that are never able to make it. So, that was basically the question.
Okay, thank you. And he's finished, right? Okay, we're going to take our last question for Erislandy, and then we'll move on to Canelo Alvarez. So go ahead with our last question, operator.
Our last question comes from Jenna J. with On the Ropes Boxing.
My question's for Erislandy. I'm just curious, Erislandy, if you had a chance to view the fight that Saul Alvarez had with Alfredo Angulo. I wanted to know if you thought that he looked good in that fight or if he was facing a lesser version of Angulo.
Yeah, he said he was there in person, you know, he didn't see the same Angulo with the same fire that he saw in his fight, and you know, he thought it, you know, was a decent fight, not nothing special, and he doesn't think that benefits either guy either way, you know.
All right, now can you ask Erislandy if he feels any extra pressure, being the fact that Canelo's the big star, he's headlining the pay-per-view, to end this fight that he has coming up without going to the judges' scorecards, or whether or not he believes he can get a fair decision?
He's got no pressure to knock out. You know, the knockout comes alone, and his main focus is dominating Canelo Alvarez. We have 3 great officials, you know, who with the Las Vegas Commission that we know they're going to do their job, and he's got to do his job. So that's his main focus is on dominating Canelo Alvarez.
All right, my last question's for Ronnie Shields. Ronnie, I mean, when you got Erislandy Lara, he was experienced as he could come as a fighter. I'm just curious, through your time working with him, what do you believe you've improved in him most?
Well, I mean, I think if you look at him, everything has improved. You know, I think he's, you know, we just improved on him on him being just a pure boxer. And you know, he's probably one of the best counterpunchers out there. You're not going to find anybody else better. That's number one, you know, and he had that already. But the most important thing is, I think it's the guys that they put in front of you, you know, and he's beating everybody that they put in front of him, you know, and, you know, what else could you expect from a guy like Erislandy Lara? You know, the kid trains as hard as anybody I've ever seen, and this is every day. So, you know, I think it is what it is, and, you know, it all depends on who's in front of you.